We started off promising Ricky Starks. We like Ricky Starks. He can talk. He can work. Looks good. Against Adam Page. Heel versus babyface. That's better than we mostly get. And I must say, I like Absolute Ricky Starks better than Stroke Daddy, which was when he did the NWA thing about a year and a half ago. He was Stroke Daddy. Absolute Ricky Starks. He's grown up. He did a good promo. He looks good. My question to you about Adam Page is he anywhere near as over, as hot, as popular, as figured in, as whatever as he was when they went on the air a year and a half ago? Of all of the young, new, unseen talent that they had, he was the guy that everybody said, well, this guy's a future champion. He's a star. He can't go wrong. And somehow they have made him wishy-washy and stupid and drunk and depressed and back and forth, and then put him in literally a group of jobber children with masks on. And now he's still doing the same shit that he was doing a year and a half ago, but it's to much less impact to me all the way around. What about you?
I agree, but I mean, a lot of it is there are no fans there because he was someone who started getting an organic reaction from the fans. And then since the breakup of the tag team with Omega and the match they had, it's all been him with the Dark Order. Just really bad. It took a guy.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's not even, I get what your point with the COVID. It's not even no fans there because he was getting over organically and cowboy shit. They don't even talk about the shit the fans that were there used to talk about. Cowboy shit went away, even though they can cuss like Cartman, with Tourette's on every program, because I guess TNT says, okay, we got guys watching, so let them say shit and son of a bitch. But just, he's not figured in. He's floundering. There's nothing going on with him in their universe, in their story, in their logic that we would give a shit about, and he's fucking buying lawnmowers and giving Dark Order jobbers rides to ice cream. They have blown this fucking guy.
I agree, and I think there's something to be said where if you have a year and a half before you want him to be in there with Omega again, you want him to get the title, whatever it is.
I don't want him in there with Omega again.
But not you, but the booker in AEW. If you have a while before he's going to be doing that main event program, I understand cooling him off a little bit, doing something different with him a little bit before they reconvene. But the stuff with the Dark Order in him is really bad.
When you cool somebody off, if you've got a star wrestling attraction, but you don't want to feature them constantly because people can't even eat steak every day, blah, blah, blah. When you cool them off, that just means that you take them out of active programs and just expose them on a regular basis, getting wins and speaking. And not necessarily every week, but every time people see them, they win. They just don't win in something that requires a program. When you cool somebody off, that doesn't mean that you fucking do things detracting from their star power. It just means that you don't feature them constantly. You keep them as good as they are. You just don't push them right now, but you keep them there and then you push them later. You don't tear them completely the fuck down and make them irrelevant and meaningless. And then, later on, yeah, we're going to put him in the main event again. Well, guess what? That horse has left the barn. Anyway, they did good athletic stuff. I think Ricky Starks needs work on his facials when he's selling. If anybody's out there taking notes or listening, I like you, Ricky. When you're on offense, you get the mean face. You get the heel face. You're reacting to what you're doing. But when you're on defense and somebody else is doing the shit, you've got the blank face because you're waiting for them to do their shit. You're making sure you're in the right, blah, blah, blah. He needs to work on his facials when he's selling. Page is fucking strong as an ox, the way he picks people up and catches them and slings them around. It belies his look. Hook looks like he just walked away from a juvenile home. I'm not sure what his gimmick is going to be. Taz is so superior to X-Lax on color I don't know why they haven't made that change now. He's more professional and more credible because he's actually been somebody in wrestling as opposed to a fucking wannabe outlaw local goof that somehow 20 years later thinks people give a fuck about his fucking outlaw gimmick. Did you see the spot where Page German suplex Starks right on his head and he didn't sell it? He didn't sell it because he was supposed to land on his feet. So he lands on his head, pops up, and doesn't sell it. God damn it. Go with the flow, kid. If you know you got thrown on your head, sell it. It doesn't matter what the fucking spot is. If you can work, you can get back to it. And that was what I noticed in this match. Even though they're both very athletic and they're both very good, they need to grab the holes before they move to the next one. They need to cinch in on something before they reverse it or get out of it. They're just going from emotion to emotion. I'm going to get a headlock on you because you're going to shoot me off, and I'm going to swing and you're going to duck. They're not grabbing the headlock and sitting down on it where the guy has to struggle for a second to fucking throw the guy off. I'm not talking about taking him over to hip lock and fucking holding the headlock for 3 minutes. Grab the hold, cinch the hold, let the guy struggle for a second, let him throw you off. When you're thrown off, you're fucking off balance. So when you hit the ropes, you're coming back trying to fucking regain it. He's going to try to do something. They're not. They're just walking through the moves like it's Western swing dancing. And I know that's a modern thing, but these guys are good enough to do it the right way. They went so fast for so long, they got bogged down a little bit. But then Page hits the SOS, the fall-away slam. Hall named it the sack of shit, SOS. Well, whenever you hear somebody call it the SOS, it's a sack of shit. The fall-away slam off the top, rope, doesn't even cover him. As soon as he gets up, Page hits him with a big clothesline, then covers him and gets a 2 count. So the sack of shit off the top rope wasn't enough for the cover. Had to hit the clothesline too, and then the guy kicks out of both things. Adam Page is young and inexperienced, we know, but somebody could have told him, dumb shit, cover after the sack of shit because he's going to kick out anyway. You hit him with a clothesline, now you've just thrown him off the top rope and hit him with a big clothesline, you still can't beat him. It doesn't make sense. Starks ducked the buckshot lariat, hit a great spear. That was a 2 count. That would have been a perfect finish if Page was going to lose. But he wasn't, which is why actually the sack of shit off the top might have been a great finish. But anyway, after they did all these big moves that looked really good, then Starks went for a power bomb. Page sat down and got up. They did sloppy reversals trying to climb down each other's back out of the power bomb. And then Page got him in a fucking choke and tapped him out with a neck and ankle hold, which was so exciting, I've almost distracted from scratching my fucking crotch. The guy that's going to win the match just hit the fucking heel with a sack of shit slam off the top rope. But yet they've got to do 3 or 4 other moves so that he can tap him out with a fucking... And then your heel's tapped out, and your babyface won with a fucking boring hold after that giant maneuver he just did. They can't leave well enough alone. Speaking of not leaving well enough alone, as soon as Page wins, Taz starts cutting a promo on him, and Hook comes in and chop blocks him from behind and starts putting the boots to him. And that's where I started going, not ha, but ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, look, he dropped out of wrestling school. He was pulled out of Cody's class.
I don't know how long he's been training. I don't know how old he is. I figured with his dad being in the business for that long, this might be, I was hoping for good. This might be a tough project. Because watching Hook throw kicks and his body language, and everybody's going to say, well, he's just training and he hasn't been in the ring and blah, blah, blah. This is green for green, those kicks that I saw. I don't know how everybody else took them. But this might be a tough little fucking row to hoe for Hook. He's not a natural, it doesn't look like. But anyway, then Brian Cage comes in, and before he gets to powerbomb Page, 18 members of the Dork Order hit and the heels powder. So it was a good match with a rotten finish and a stupid afterbirth. I guess that's all we can hope for. What'd you think?
Well, once again, I continued my experiment from last week, trying to meld the worlds of professional wrestling and scientific discovery to discover how one accepts AEW if they are completely stoned. So once again, I got really, really high before AEW Dynamite this week.
And it's all for the people.
And I like it.
You're doing this all for the people. It's for science.
That's right.
Science and the people.
And the buzz and the people. And I really enjoyed the match. I didn't like the sack of shit spot when it happened. I just thought it looked like it was too clunky to set it up for it to happen.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, I'm grading on a curve here because in actuality, all these guys, when two grown men that are supposed to be fighting each other stand up both feet on the top rope and steady themselves in order to give a move, it's phony as a football bat anyway, but I'm grading on a curve here. Go ahead.
But I enjoyed the match. Happy to see Ricky Starks get some time on TV. I think he is so talented. I understand what you're saying, but I thought, especially at the end of the match, I thought his facial expressions were fantastic at the end of the match. Taz cracks me up. To me, he's so funny because his stable is always getting punked. Well, like when he said, hey, Taz, look, well, not Taz, but hey, Adam Page, look behind your back. Look right behind your back. And there's Hook, and Hook lifts his arms, like he flaps his wings when he delivers a stomp. You know what I'm talking about? Like every time he stomped,
and he's kicking
his
sideways.
arms went up. Yeah.
He's kicking sideways. But you hit something there. Taz talks like his group is and all kudos to him. Because you got to. Talks like his group is a bunch of badasses and they're just punked out in every appearance, every opportunity.
Every appearance.
It takes 5 of them to do anything and they still run.
The gang that couldn't shoot straight. But I get a kick out of him. Out of all the factions there, because Taz is so good, and there was nothing even talked about with the whole Brian Cage threatening to leave and having problems with everyone else. Not even referenced at all here. Hated the Dark Order running in. Other than that, I enjoyed it. Good opening segment.
Team Taz is kind of like, if some badass came out and said, I want to introduce you to my crew. It's going to kick your ass. Right here is Archie Andrews. This is best friend Jughead P. Jones. And their girls, Betty and Veronica.